Hey everybody out there in internet land, it's Alan Morford from pivotce.com and from the webOS Nation community forums. I'm going to give you a quick overview of some of webOS's greatest features as it compares to Blackberry 10 and some of their devices. So stick with me, this is going to be fun. Now I'm not going to focus too much on hardware, but I will tell you that this is the HP Palm Pre 3, which if there was such a thing as a flagship webOS device for phones, this would be it. And this is the Blackberry Z10, so not necessarily a flagship device for them, but it was their first slab phone that ran Blackberry 10. So, not comparing hardware, we're just going to talk about operating system similarities between webOS specifically and Blackberry 10. I want to unlock this device. webOS, it's very simple. You have two options. Tap the power button once, slide the lock up. Bam, unlocked. Second option. Flick the keyboard open. Bam. Open and run it inside the software. Pretty simple, huh? Blackberry 10, you've got a couple of more options. Power button on top, at least for this device, but any power button of course will turn it on. And you see your lock screen. Now there's no lock necessarily, but you can do this to unlock the device. Just a swipe up. You can also, when the device is off, use your finger to wake the device and swipe up one more time to unlock. So, power on, swipe up. Next thing we'll talk about are notifications. And webOS really nailed this. My notifications can be seen right here from the lock screen. So you'll see I've got some FeedSpider articles I need to read and at least one email that I need to read as well. I can't do anything with these though. So they're just sort of there. Can't even swipe them away, or you see I've got a patch installed that lets me delete emails. I can't even do that. Swiping up though, I can then tap my notifications again because they auto minimize, and then I can interact with them. I can open that email, or I can go into FeedSpider. And that's it. That's where my notifications live. That's where they exist, and we're all kind of pretty happy with that. I will note that it does take up some real estate on your screen. No one really complains about that because they do kind of stay in this nice parallel line, which we all know and love. Blackberry 10 has a slightly different approach to notifications. You'll notice that they're right here on the lock screen. So I've only got one particular notification to speak of, but I've also got my next event, which is a staff meeting. So it's going to be an hour-long meeting at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Good news is I don't have to be there. But hey, there it is. I can interact with this notification though, unlike webOS. So I see the notification, I can interact with it. If I tap it again, I can actually go ahead and open it. So tapping the notification once brings up the notification. I can read it. If it was a text message, I could read the text message. Twitter, I could read part of the message, if not all of it. Email, the first part of the email with the subject line. Or I can double tap and it opens me right there in Facebook. Oh, and here comes a notification from Blackberry 10, as though I couldn't have timed it better myself. You'll notice it popped up at the top. I had an X. I could have X'd it out, tapped it to interact with it, or swiped it away. This is called Blackberry Peek. Now all I did was on my home screen, drag up, and by the way, this is a Blackberry 10.3. This is a leaked build, which we'll talk about in a little bit. So this is Blackberry Peek from my home screen. I can see my notification, but I can't necessarily interact with it, at least not here. I can try to double tap, but it doesn't actually do anything. Basically, it just lets me see my notifications from anywhere that I am. I could be in the browser, and I can peek at my notifications, and all the notifications show right here on the left side. So it's a pretty unique way of seeing what's out there. Interacting with them will be in the hub, which we'll also talk about later. But for now, that's how Blackberry 10 handles their notifications. So one of the things that all webOS fans really like to talk about with webOS and its power is synergy. So what's synergy? Synergy is what webOS, of course, likes to call integrating all of your accounts into one nice little place. See the accounts tab I have open there in card view. Shows all my Facebook, Google, my Palm profile, which will be going away very soon, my Skype contact, and my CDAV for Google. Thanks to Garfonzo for that one. I'm going to open up my text messages here. Oh, down here. Open up my text messages. And we'll use a particularly nondescript one. Let's see what we got down here. We got this one from Straight Talk telling me that my service has been refilled. So up here in the top right hand corner you'll see text, of course, and I can tap text. Now if I had any other accounts for this particular one, it would be all listed here. My Google, let's say they were a chat account or a Skype account or whatever, it'd all be listed right here. And I could flip back and forth in this exact same window, this exact same conversation between all of those. That's a pretty powerful feature, and that's really just scratching the surface, of course, of what Synergy really is. But how does BlackBerry 10 compare? BlackBerry 10 doesn't necessarily have that one-stop accounts app per se, but what it does have is something called the Hub. Now this is really integral to what BlackBerry 10 has been doing for the last year or so. The Hub is accessible by a right swipe from your home screen. So here's BlackBerry Hub. Now a little bit more over here, you'll see Hub, Priority Hub, things that I've marked important or that the system learns that it thinks it's important. This is where pretty much all of your notifications for things come in. Notifications specifically are system notifications or specific app notifications for like a news update or something, or an app that's waiting to be installed or that's ready to be updated. BlackBerry Messenger, of course, text messages, Gmail, Facebook, Twitter, other email accounts, Google Talk, your phone calls, your missed calls, your voicemails that are waiting, any emergency alerts. I've got the Instagram client installed. It's all culminated into one central location. You'll see that I've got Facebook and Twitter and text messages and all kinds of things all in this one location. If I get a notification from that BlackBerry Peak, which I mentioned earlier, it's here and it's all in the exact same place. So it's a one-stop shop for everything. Now I can drill down to be really specific with, I only want Facebook results, or I only want notifications. If not, I can have all in the Hub. I can select one item, I can select more, and I can do all kinds of things with them. I can mark them all red or what have you. I can delete them all by tapping here and bam, 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 bam. This is a change in 10.3 from 10.2, which is nice, but it's pretty powerful. For instance, there's no email app for BlackBerry 10. I mean, you can go to the store, which is called BlackBerry World, and you can get an email app if you want to. But the fact of the matter is that anything and everything that you could possibly want to do with your email is right here. It's all in the Hub. So it's pretty powerful. A different take on Synergy maybe. I think webOS got it right. But for what the Hub is, it may not necessarily be expounding on what Synergy is, but if you can imagine it going into a slightly different direction for focusing on your notifications and being able to interact with those notifications from right here inside the Hub. Give you an example. I mean that would open specifically to the Facebook thing itself. Let me go to text messages real quick, and let's see. This is here we go. This is the wife's text messages here. So you can tap the button that allows me to interact with some of these individually. If it was new, this icon right here would be here all the time, and it's a quick reply. I can actually tap that and then quick reply right here within it and send it and be done with it. And I can do that from a notification too. If it popped up here, I can tap that, interact with it, and send it right away. So when you think webOS, one of the things you think about are probably all the gestures. This is pretty cool. I mean, swiping up to get rid of things, tapping things to bring them back up, or to swipe them over, or to stack them on top of something else. It's all integrated into a lot of what is really cool about webOS itself. I don't know what else to say about it, quite honestly, because the Wave Launcher itself is a gesture. Switching between applications, if you've got it set up, you can do that with just quick left and right swipes. Drilling into something and then going back, all in the swipe function of that nice little swipe area down there. They really nailed it. webOS really got it right. So how does BlackBerry 10 compare? Well, as we talked about earlier, an up swipe will wake the device, If you're inside of an application, let's say the phone applications for instance, an up swipe will minimize that very similarly to how webOS minimizes its apps with an up swipe in that way. Tap it, minimize it. Tap it, minimize it. It's a really nice feature. We talked about the hub earlier. The hub is actually very easy to get to. At any screen that you're on, it doesn't matter if you're in an app screen, if you're in the menu, as I am now, you can up and right swipe and you'll get to your hub. That's a nice feature. Just being able to, you know, I'm in the search app, for instance, I can up swipe and right, and bam, I'm right back into the hub where I had it set for text messages. Here's the hub right there. Getting out of the hub is just an up swipe to get you back to your main page. I can do it from here. It's really simple. Being here, I can just left and right swipe because that's my home screen. That's what's next to the hub. It's very similar. They've expanded their gestures though. There's a lot more that you can do with gestures. For instance, if I'm in the keyboard and I want to type a number, I can swipe down on the keyboard and I can type a number. I can swipe down again to get to more special characters. Swipe down again to get back to letters. If I've typed hi there, ooh, I messed up. I can find the word there, swipe it up, and it fixes the word for me because it found it. I can left swipe and do a backspace. It's pretty interesting how they do the keyboard. Now, obviously, I'll talk about the hardware keyboard versus software keyboard in a little bit. Not going to spend a whole lot of time on it, but for what this is, integrating gestures, the Blackberry Passport, for instance, has those nice new hardware physical capacitive keys. All those gesture swipe keys or that functionality is built into that capacitive keyboard itself. So they've really done a nice job with the swipe functions, and it's something to be very similar to what webOS has to offer too. Another cool thing that people like to talk about with webOS is just type. So with keyboard extended, I can do a search or start a tweet or look for a file or an email. I can pull up applications. I can search through history. It's pretty all-inclusive. Suggested searches or what have you. I can do all kinds of really cool things with it. So again, how does BlackBerry 10 fare with that type of functionality? We'll go back to our search app, which is accessible down here with the search button. Of course, I can talk to it, which is kind of nice. That's a feature that unfortunately webOS just never had the time to implement, other than for voice dialing, which we know it was pretty buggy as it was. So let's figure this out here. I want to look for the closest Burger King or something. I'll type in Burger King and we'll see what we get. Nearby places and destinations. I can extend my search for these different types of search engines. This is an app. This is the YouTube app. Now I want to search for Burger King in the YouTube app that I downloaded, and I haven't really messed with it yet, so it's new. On the right here, I have all these specific things that I can search for or create new things for. So the calendar and email, BlackBerry Messenger. It's pretty amazing what I have available to me. It does have quick actions, instant actions for some of these things. I wanna remind myself. I can create a reminder. It also, as you can see, is searching my audio files, my email messages, and I have all these other options for searches or opening within apps like Evernote or the map application. So honestly, it's so similar to just type that I really think that they've actually expounded on it, and really it's because BlackBerry had the time to invest in changing what that just type feature is for webOS into what it probably really could have been. So really, if you look at it, it's more of a 2.0 version of what just type is. So I think they really did a great job with it. Okay, so one of the obvious glaring differences we're going to have between most webOS phones, well, all webOS phones, unless you've got the Winds or not, is going to be that physical keyboard. So the physical keyboard that the Pre 3 of course has to offer, it's really just one of the best. It's got larger keys, it's got that gel nice tacky feel, but it's slick enough that you can fly around on, and I've gotten pretty fast at it over the years that I've been using it. The Z10 doesn't have it. Like I told you at the beginning, we're not going to talk about hardware. I did show you a little bit of the software keyboard that the Z10 has to offer. Of course, the Z30, the India has a Z3, and then you know, there's more devices coming down the pipe that are rumored that have the touchscreen keyboard with all those nice swipe features and word predictions and corrections and things. So you'll see here that I also have my Blackberry 9900. This is my work phone. I don't like this phone because it's got Blackberry OS 7, and not so specifically because it has that version, but because, well, I work for the government and it's pretty much completely locked down. I really didn't give a whole lot of credit to this particular device. I'm not going to talk about the hardware of this device too much, but suffice to say that the keyboard that it has is that famed Blackberry keyboard that you'll find on the Q10, which is a Blackberry 10 device, as well as the new Blackberry Classic, and then some of the older Blackberry Bold series phones, of course, had this exact same keyboard. You know, I made it a point the other day to type on this keyboard a very long email message, and that's really all I use this thing for, is email. And it's actually really nice. It's a little slippery to me. Some of the keys weren't exactly as intuitive as I thought that they should have been. You know, but overall, it's a really nice keyboard. And if you're looking for a physical keyboard, you don't have a whole lot of options these days. Blackberry is one of the only top of the line, if you want to compare it to quality of the devices, a really good quality device as far as its make is concerned. There's not a whole lot of options out there for good quality devices with physical keyboards on that you have to choose from. So if you've got to have that physical keyboard, you want to take a look at the Q10. Which has Blackberry 10, and you want to take a look at the Blackberry Classic. It's pretty new, so you might have a hard time finding one, but if you can get your hands on one, you can try it out. They also have a little bit less of a cost one these days. Q10, of course, is getting a lot cheaper. They've got the Q5. The Q5's got a little bit different keyboard on it, so you might want to research that one before you go spending the $100 or so that you're gonna spend getting it shipped to you, at least in the States. So you know, no keyboard real comparison. You know, I can't, if I could take this keyboard off and put it on this device or put it on this device, I would. But we can't. So webOS wins on the keyboard. So if you're still using webOS these days, you've probably figured out how to do just about everything you want to do with the apps that you can get as they are provided. Whether you're using freeware, whether you're using the almost completely non-functional app catalog, you know, I don't know. You've probably found a way. The webOS Nation forums have a lot of ways to get different apps on your devices, or on your webOS devices these days. And of course, a lot of IPK file sharing is going on behind closed doors until the 15th. I imagine it will be a little bit more predominant as the 15th draws nearer and we get past it. But really, there's not a whole lot we can compare with an operating system that's being upgraded almost daily and supported almost daily to the webOS phones, which are not being supported except by the community. So what are the app options for the Blackberry 10 operating system? It comes with quite a few stock applications. You've got a lot of options as far as where you can install other apps. Another similarity that webOS has with Blackberry 10 is the webOS quick install software. There's a kind of an equivalent out there. I think it's called Sachesi, S-A-C-H-E-S-I for Blackberry 10, where you can kind of sideload apps and do a whole bunch of other things with it. It's a little bit more complicated, and I've only been using Blackberry 10 for about a week now anyway, so not really exactly sure how to do it. The community over at Crackberry is pretty darn good. They've got a lot of tutorials and help on how to do things like installing leaked OS software, which this is now running a leaked version of 10.3. So it's got a lot of comparisons like that. This has custom Doctor files. This has leaked software. This has WASCI. This has Sachesi. So this is open. I can unlock it and do all kinds of things and hack it, if you want to call it that. I can't really do too much with this one. This is a little bit more locked down than a lot of people I know like to use. But it is what it is, and it's pretty decent. So as far as the apps are concerned, we'll go over to BlackBerry World. Blackberry World is the HP app catalog version of the Blackberry 10. And it's really nice. It's got quite a few apps that you can choose from. A lot of the popular ones are already there. All the Twitters and Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat, different versions out there. Some of them aren't official apps, some of them are user-created apps, but they're very, very nice. A lot of the native apps run a lot better than the Android apps. So you can actually install the Amazon App Store because native built into Blackberry 10 is Android app support. So if you think that Android apps are the greatest thing since sliced bread, you have a plethora to choose from the Amazon App Store. And even though the Amazon App Store is not necessarily the most updated version of those apps, they are legitimate. You can purchase them right on the device. And now, thanks to the community over at Crackberry, there is a working and very, very fully functional Google Play Store, which I got up and running yesterday. It is really easy to use. So I was able to download, let's see, I think I got Pandora, I forget what else I got, but these are my kind of Android apps that I have installed at the moment. Tapatalk, there's no native Tapatalk client for Blackberry 10, so I was able to use that, and it works really well. So I mean, you've definitely got your apps to choose from on Blackberry 10. Another one of those really cool webOS staples I kind of mentioned earlier when we were talking about gestures is that Wave launcher. I mean, who doesn't love the Wave launcher? I mean, I've spoken with people that don't use the Wave launcher. I think they're a little crazy myself, because when I'm in the middle of an app and I know that I need to get to Twitter, I've got Twitter right there with Project Macaw, or my phone, or my messaging app, which I use the most pretty much of any app that on webOS. And of course it gives you immediate access to your launcher, which has all the rest of your apps in it. I mean, it's really great. I mean, I can't really go on enough. I'm gonna kind of geek out about the Wave launcher because it's just a cool idea, and it would have been nice to have that dual layered Wave launcher that was rumored so long ago. But oh well, we can keep dreaming. So what did the Blackberry 10 have in comparison to that? Well, not anything really. I can't drag up and get a hold of anything as far as that. I will tell you that your apps reside just to the right of your home screen, and you can create more pages by going out here and dragging these things way off to the side, and that'll create another screen for you. I will tell you that it is similar to a lot of the modern other mobile operating systems in the way that you can create folders in those. I'm not going to do that, but you could create folders in there if you want, tap on it, and see other apps that you have available. You can delete the apps which are in your menu here by just tapping and holding them and hitting that delete icon, which pops up. Of course, you can do something similar with webOS, which I guess you could compare that to by opening up, tapping, and with the option key and getting those options. Don't want to delete forums. Grabber will get mad at me. So what else do they have that's similar? Down here at the bottom you'll see I'm at the home screen right now by that little home icon, and then I've got 4 dots, and those indicate the amount of apps pages that I have. While I'm thinking about it, and this is nothing to do with the Wave launcher, you'll see my LED notification light up there. That is just a really simple way to let us know, of course, the Wave notifications, and it's just really simple. webOS really nailed that with the blinking LED down here, and Blackberry 10 on all their devices have some type of flashing LED indicator, and Blackberry's been using that for many years, so it's just worth noting because I can see it. So this little bar down here at the bottom will show you the little email kind of an envelope, and that's our hub, which is over here to the left. Our home screen with the home, and then the 4 buttons on the side. One of the nice things about it, and this is how I can kind of compare it, is if I'm in my phone app and I need to get all the way over to page 4, I can actually hit that and drag all the way to page 4. So it's a really super fast way to get over, but of course you have to remember where all your apps are for a specific page that you want to navigate to. Not a Wave launcher, not a super quick access type of a thing. If you're in your search and you want to open up BlackBerry Messenger, specifically you'd have to go up and then over until you found BlackBerry Messenger. And that's just the fastest way to get to those apps. So webOS kind of wins out on this one yet again. All right, the last thing we're going to talk about is kind of the white elephant in the room, and that's multitasking. So really, when people think about the power of webOS, they really talk about that card interface, how easy it is to switch between apps, and how enjoyable it is just getting to and from different open applications at any given swipe of your finger. And bouncing back and forth, and of course, opening those, you're in an email and you click on a phone number and it takes you to the phone app and it stacks it for you, or you're in a text message and you get a browser link which opens your browser window in a stacked message, and that browser web page has a phone number on it and you tap on it and that stacks the phone app on top. It's such an easy way to get to your apps, and really it's just done really, really well. So BlackBerry 10 by comparison actually does a pretty good job with multitasking, and as far as the apps or the other operating systems that are out there for mobile use, how does it stack up? Well, to be honest with you, pretty well. As you open apps, it stacks your apps in order. So I opened my search, then my camera, then my phone, then my browser, then Twitter, and then I opened the the Crackberry application. And so it stacks it nice in order. This has taken the place of my home screen, so that home icon which is down there, I'm dragging up and see it's giving me a little arrow down there by the home icon. It's just letting me know that's where I am. It's pretty simple. You can't flick apps away. That's one of the things that people really love about webOS too. I can't flick them away because I'm just scrolling. It doesn't really work. I can't flip to the side because that takes me to the hub. That takes me to my apps. Getting rid of a card, which they are cards, make no mistake, it is a card, is tapping the X. I've heard people complain that the X is too hard to tap. I'll be honest with you, if it was, that was in an old version of BlackBerry 10. Maybe they've widened the tap area to make that happen. One of the nice things that I think BlackBerry actually does a little bit better than webOS is that instead of only being able to see one open app and then kind of a third of the next open apps to its left and right, I can actually see 4 complete applications open when this is here. And in fact, when I have 6 applications open, I can see part of 2 down at the bottom. So I've got 4 complete apps, and then I've got 2 down at the bottom that I can kind of see part of. So that's 6 apps that I can see information on. You might also notice that each of these cards changes when I minimize it. They are live tiles that display information based on what's inside that app that you can tap on and you can read. So the Twitter app becomes, the latest tweets that are coming up. BlackBerry shows some of the latest articles that are coming up. If I go over here and I open AccuWeather, when I've got AccuWeather minimized as an app, it actually loads as kind of a weather widget. Something similar to the AccuWeather app over here, but obviously that is not going to change a whole lot, and this kind of bounces back and forth between information. So closing apps, is as easy as a flick up or a tap of an X. And while it may not be exactly what webOS has to offer, what is there is actually very usable. It's very user-friendly, and it looks nice, and it's really accessible. So, it's like I said, it's not exactly webOS, but it's pretty darn good. They did a really good job with multitasking. I'm pretty happy with it. Alright, so that's it. That's some of the top webOS features as it compares to BlackBerry 10 and what BlackBerry is offering these days. If you took anything away from this video at all, I hope you take away that you basically can make your own decision about the type of platform you like. Personally for me, I don't think I'm ever going to pick one platform ever again. If you like this video, leave a comment, and hey, maybe I'll make some more. Take care.